When I say emotional insecurity, I literally mean your emotions. Your emotions are not secure. It is not safe to be around you because you don't have control over your emotions, you know? And I think that next to the man who's silent and walks away and who controls emotions is the second most dangerous man. A man who has no control over his emotions. Because that's the man who will shoot up a school. That's the man
Yeah.
who will rape somebody. That's the man who will hurt children, you know? That's it. And I say that to say, I think even in our very first podcast episode, Control Your Destiny, we were talking about this, but not from a sense of security, from a sense of discipline. But I think it ties into it really well. Emotional discipline and emotional security, right, is being able to know no matter what arises and no matter what comes into my life, I'm going to have control over me and I'm going to be in full control of the way that I act, no matter how I feel. And I really do think this is something that's very, very rare nowadays. I think most people, well, women, I think, are much more emotional in general. And even if women can hear the logic that you're speaking about, I think a lot of times they don't really respond to the logistics of a situation as much as they do to the emotional side of the situation. And so what ends up happening inevitably in a society full of dominatrix women and feminine men is that everyone's just fucking emotional and nobody's hearing what the fuck we're really saying because they're too offended by how we said it.
Right.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
how we said, not what we said. That's why I hate the. Babe, I love you, but you always say it's not what I said, it's how I said. Because you
Yeah,
always,
that's so
you know,
backwards.
it's just so backward. Like
That's
it's
so backwards.
because now you're telling me that your feelings is hurt, right? Your emotions wild up, right? Now anything I said will get you upset and being combative, being upset. And I think women to understand that, especially if you're in a relationship with a man like myself, like I'm not saying I'm the most dangerous man in the world because I ain't going to shooting schools and shit, right? I ain't doing that, you know. But all I'm saying is that I just have respect for myself so much that to a point that you cannot get through me. Like I either will kick you out or I walk out. That was it for me, you know, because I'm not gonna waste my breath, my time with a woman who's gonna be combative and aggressive because you wanna tell me how I say shit. It's not how I. It's what I'm saying is the truth. You don't want to hear the truth. You want me to tell you lies. How do I live with myself? How do I live with? And you're supposed to be the mother of the mother of my daughter. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's why I was never thought like my mother was only knew she did her best to take care of 5 kids on her own, but at the same time, I had to be the man in the house. Why? Because I was the oldest. I had to protect my sisters. I had to protect my little brother. Like my sister will tell you, like I fought for her. I fought 6 guys off by myself when I was in school. I was in high school. I did all that middle school. I fight and fight because I was the man in the house. And I was telling my brother, hey, let's do this differently. Like I'll tell you, I've stopped a whole gang fight between my brother and a bunch of gang. I showed up, they're like, fuck, yo, Jean Cox is coming, bro. Everybody back off, like literally no bullshit, guys. I live in a project and shit. Like I walk in, like I don't give a fuck. You wanna come? I'm ready. I'm always ready, bro. Like I'm not gonna show fear in front of a man. I'm not gonna fucking be feminine in front of a female or a woman. I'm not saying just to show my weak. I never show a weakness to in front of a female. I never show weakness in front of my mom. I'm always Mom think I'm crazy. Mom think I'm like fucking lunatics. Like why am I like that? And I told her explain to why I'm happy because the world is not nice no more. The world is not a sunshine and rainbow anymore. The world is a world where it's gonna try and get me fucked up and switch my mind to be like the world. I don't want to be living in the world. I don't want to be in the world. I want to live for me how God perceived me to live, which is to help young brothers out there, young studs, young niggas out there who's trying to understand themselves, where they can stop suicidal thoughts, where they can stop being insecure and taking for granted for these bitches using them, taking them off for dates, putting your MX card and paying for these girls fucking like Gucci bags or Gucci sandals and shit. You know?
Yeah, I'm not so. I'll say this, right? I'm not the most dangerous man out there, but I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely think God put the both of us in a position in life to where we have to give back and we have to share the story and we have to show the next generation. Because call me crazy, I believe that in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be a wave of young kids, young men in search of answers in a dream world that gives them none, right? And I think that we're going to have to be a couple of those figures that are going to have to provide some of those answers, and albeit at the expense and cost of our suffering in certain ways. Like Jean said, to be a good man, to be the best version of yourself, you have to go through suffering, you know. And so that's what will refine the diamond, you know. That's what will boil down. What do they call it? That will what will reduce the sauce to the purest version of what you're going to eat. You know what I'm saying? To the best seasoning.